Welcome back, everybody. We are here again on the Ham and Turkey Football Edition once again. This is a very special show because I have actually one of my high school teammates on here with me today. My boy Quis Elliot is here today to talk some Lions football. We're gonna move right along in our 32 teams. We're gonna move quickly, expeditiously through it. So as we get right into it, first thing I noticed about the Lions when watching them on tape is their offense. That's first of all. Stafford looked as sharp as I've ever seen him look in like as many years as he's been in the league. Without Calvin Johnson, like he looked like sharp. When you watch him from weeks 1 through 10, which was what he played before he got hurt, he looked like a top 7 quarterback. And a lot of the stats that I'll be using is from Pro Football Focus, PFF. And so by their metrics, by their passing grade metrics, Stafford was number 7 in pass grade, his grade for his passing. And when you watch the tape and you turn on the tape, you will see how many sharp passes, how Stafford navigates the pocket, how he makes these super tight window throws. He looked as good as he has looked in as far as we've been in high school, bro. Like before we even got out of high school, how he looked. But talk to me about how you thought Matthew Stafford looked before he got hurt.
Stafford, man. I mean, I already know. I've seen it. I'm a firm believer in him because I've seen it for so long. But Stafford was crazy last year. Stafford was top of the line. And in the few weeks that he played, he was top 3 in a lot of major quarterback categories in the NFL. A lot of them. When you're talking about 2,500 yards, only playing half the season. That's almost 5,000. That's halfway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 64% completion, 19 touchdowns and 5 innings. That was single-handedly his best season that they put together.
Absolutely.
I think it's all due to Darrell Bevel, man. I think that he got with Darrell Bevel, offensive coordinator that used to be with the Seahawks. Russell Wilson helped. That had a lot to do with his success, man. And he real good with the game plan and tight end motions, everything to keep the defense off their feet. And it was amazing what he could do with, a bunch of receivers spreading the ball out, not just using Calvin Johnson. Said,
Absolutely.
That showed a lot of growth for me with him just using everybody. It wasn't no main receiver. He was the main man. You know what I mean, in that offense. And every week it was somebody different who had a standout year, a standout week.
Yep.
On that offense.
And
that still did decent without him.
I'm glad you brought up Darrell Bevel because I was going to talk about him too, but you led me right into it. I mean, he worked with Russell Wilson and he was in Seattle, and it was the funny thing about that. The year prior, he wasn't even in football. The year before, he wasn't even in football. He took a year off and then came in with Matt Patricia. But you can see the difference in the offense. I mean, you watch Kerryon Johnson. I mean, Kerryon Johnson was playing fantastic before he got hurt too, and that was another thing about the Lions. They got hit by the injury bug before, like you said, before week 10, and it was showing. It was starting to show gradually. But like you said, Darrell Bevel knows how to, scheme people open, utilize the run game, which is what they did a lot. They ran a lot more. But see, the difference was the efficiency in their passing game is what really set it off. And I'm glad you said that it was a different person every week because it literally was a different person every week. So going to my next segment, I always like to do players on the offense that you saw took a step forward or you noticed just ball out every week. So I'd say the player that I saw that ball out every week, I think it was pretty obvious, somebody besides Stafford. It was Kenny Galladay. No question about it. Kenny Galladay, besides Matthew Stafford, was probably the best player every week for them because he led the NFL in touchdown catches with 11. I mean, he leads the NFL in contested catches since 2018. Since he came in the league, he's tied with Julio with the most contested catches at 46. And there's time and time again last year where Stafford's throwing the ball downfield and Kenny Galladay's coming up with a spectacular catch. And that was probably one of their more underrated picks because he wasn't no first-round pick or second-round pick. I think it was like a 4th or 5th round pick. I can't remember off the top of my head. But he was a late-round pick. and they got a lot of production out of somebody from the late round. So I want you to talk to me about who you saw was a outstanding performer on the offense.
Yeah, like you said, besides Stafford and Kenny Galladay was definitely, I mean, besides Stafford, is definitely the second best player on that offense, hands down. So just not mentioning them, um, I would go, the running backs had a lot of injuries. I like the way Marvin Hall looked at it with a little bit of time. He didn't get a lot of time due to crowded wide
Yeah.
receivers with Amendola, Jones, Galladay. He barely got on the field, but he caught a lot of big catches, a lot of big
Mm-hmm.
catches. He only had 7 catches, but he had 201 yards. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's 37 yards a catch, easy. He
Whew,
striking with
that's
him, man. Like,
awesome. 37 yards a catch. Wow. I didn't know
oh
it was
yeah,
that, but he
he was
definitely.
Stafford.
You're
Yeah,
right.
what was that?
He definitely flashes on tape though. Like that is their deep threat. And there's many times that I remember I can't remember what game it was, but he caught somebody. I think it was the Raiders game. He caught somebody nasty with a double move, and he took that thing all the way to the house. And I was like, golly, that was a nasty double move. So Marvin, I'm glad you brought Marvin Hall up. He definitely made a lot of big plays for them this year. One game that stuck out for me is the first game of the season, the game y'all tied against Arizona. And I think that was TJ Hawkinson's best game of the year.
Yeah.
And obviously he was their first overall, he was their first round pick, he was 8th overall. He's supposed to be their great tight end. I want you to talk to me about what you saw from TJ Hawkinson throughout the season.
Um, like you said, that week one, that was the best game of his career.
Right.
That was actually the best game of any rookie tight end's career, week one. He broke a record. No rookie tight end ever had an outstanding week like that with that many yards and stuff. That week I seen flashes of greatness. I seen a young man that could control himself running routes, in and out of routes. He reminded me a little bit of, a lot of people don't like him, but I am. Aaron Hernandez, he reminded me a little bit of Aaron. Running routes and catching. He got nice speed to him. Nice little burst, big, solid, and he's real tough. Throughout the year though, it wasn't consistent,
Mm-hmm.
which was to be expected because you got James back there with him.
Yeah.
You got Nada. He was the 4th tight end. You had Logan as the 3rd tight end. So that tight end group, just like that wide receiver group, was stacked also. So
Yeah.
he wasn't able to get as many catches, as many targets as he would have wanted. But going on in the future, he will be the guy at tight end, and I believe it'd be a force to reckon with, man, because he shows a lot of flash, blocking, passing. He can do it all.
Yeah.
He just wasn't lean to as much.
And that's a good point that you brought up. It's like when you're a rookie, it's tough to build that type of consistency. Obviously, that's what separates veterans from, a first year tight end. And that was the thing I saw with him too, is like it's just hard to develop some consistency. I thought it was funny, the Raiders game, or not funny, but ironic, is that that last play that the Lions ran on the goal line to win the game, the Raiders actually called a timeout for them when they didn't have any timeouts left. And they, instead of scheming up a play for Kenny Galladay or scheming up a play to get it to TJ Hawkinson, they gave it to Logan Thompson. Now, he is 6'8", and that is a big size difference to have in a red zone. But if I draft the tight end number 1 with the first-round pick, I would expect him to get the ball, or Kenny Galladay, your best offensive weapon. I would expect one of them to get the ball than Logan Thompson. I just thought that was pretty ironic. It's like you can tell that the coaching staff didn't have as much trust in him as they probably would have liked. And that, I mean, that was only like, I think it was like week 7. What week was that? That was like week 7 or 8 against the
That
Raiders.
was yeah, that was mid season. That was definitely
That was week 9. It was week 9. It was week 9. They played the Raiders. So it's like, I mean, you would think at that point they would develop some type of chemistry or some trust with you to make these big catches. But like you said, it's tough for Hawkinson to get it together. And I don't really know why. I can't really pinpoint why he didn't get it together. But, he's only a rookie, so you got to be patient. But again, back to your point, we have seen flashes and we've seen enough from him that will give us, optimism going forward. So segueing into more people on the offense, I want you to talk to me about someone on the offense that you think underwhelmed or you think didn't play the way you would like to see them play.
Someone on that offense. If it was anybody on that offense, I would have to go with Kerryon Johnson. He got hurt. It's just way too many injuries, but that's another story. But if anybody who just didn't play well and was on the field, I would have to say Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson, I thought he would do better. I thought he would be better. He's real fast back, one of the fastest running backs coming out of last year's draft. And he wasn't just a little fast guy. He got size. About 6 feet, 6'1". You know what I mean? Real solid guy, fast. He showed flashes, but he just never put together a strong game. He only showed a few runs. You know what I mean? The speed never really. We didn't even get to see explosive play much. Like I feel like that just wasn't a good route. I don't know. he was bad.
What's funny about the Lions season overall is they were 3-12, but if you watch all their games from week 1 to week 10, there was a stat that they said at week 10, the Lions were one of 4 teams who had the lead in every single game they had played. They had a lead in every single game that they played, and they were ranked. They were graded as the 18th best offense. So I think that's pretty good for losing your quarterback at week 10. So, I mean, as far as someone who disappointed me on the offense, I already talked about T.J. Hockenson, but I probably have to go with Kerryon Johnson. And the reason that I'm saying that is Kerryon Johnson, I liked him. I had him on all my fantasy teams this year. The only reason I feel like he was disappointing was because he would get going. He would get like 3 carries in a row, 10 yards, 15 yards, screen pass. You know what I'm saying? But they'd take him out, and then they wouldn't put him back in. And so I'm like, yo, why are you not putting your best running back in the game? They go with Ty Johnson. Or they just in love with J.D. McKissick, and I don't understand why. They're in love with this kid. They love J.D. McKissick. He's always in the game. I'm like, why is Kerryon Johnson not in the game? He should be all 3 down back, which he has. I mean, the first game against the Chargers, he caught a 30-yard screen pass and took it to the house. I mean, he showed that he can run between the tackles. He showed that he has wiggle. He showed that he can catch. So why is he on the field? And like I said, the only reason that I'm picking him is because he got hurt and I didn't get to see as much as I would like from him, and he got hampered by a knee injury. But I mean, I Kerryon Johnson, man, that's the guy for me, man.
Yeah, like I like that. Like you said, man, it was definitely Kerryon due to injuries, but another reason why that you couldn't. And J.D. McKissick, I believe, is a guy who does everything. You know what I mean? And when you're a guy that can do just about anything, that's how you get yourself on the field. That's who coaches want on the field. Somebody I don't have to worry about moving to another position. You know what I mean? And Kerryon, he really couldn't take it. Like 3 down back, it wasn't him. That's why he's injury prone. They was trying to keep him for the long run. That's why they tried to use every running back they had to try to make him last. And he still didn't last. He still didn't last. Like, he did all of that and he still didn't last. They should have just burnt him out.
Yeah. And one more player I want to talk about 2 more things on the offense, but one more player I want you to talk about before we move to the defense. As much as I have never cared for Marvin Jones. I feel coming from the Bengals, going to Detroit, I feel through this time, I feel he's underwhelmed. That's just me personally. Yeah. But the man played exceptionally well. I mean, I can't poo-poo on him this year. I mean, the one game he had 4 touchdowns in one game, and I was like, man, there ain't really much I can say. Every time I'm watching him, I know that Raiders game, he had one of the best catches I've ever seen from him. This one contested catch where he skied and got that thing after about to take a shot from the safety. So he definitely showed me that now the Detroit has 2 viable weapons. 3 if you want to count Hockenson when he get himself together. But they got 3 valuable weapons that can now win on the outside, win in contested catch situations. And Marvin Jones is a pretty fast guy. He's football fast. I don't think he timed really well in a 40, but he's football fast. And he can get down the field and make those tough downfield catches. So I want you to talk to me a little bit about Marvin Jones, what you saw from him this year.
Just about, from Marvin Jones, he's just his range of catching. Once the ball is up there, he attacks the ball and he'll go get it. If it's in his radius, he going to get it. A lot of people don't know Marvin Jones ever since 2018. He's been working out with Randy Moss in the offseason. That's why a lot of his deep catching down the field, catching with two defenders around him, catching with all types of stuff has gotten better with him because he has worked with Randy Moss. A bunch of leg workouts, a bunch of things. You know what I mean? I've seen all type of things on social media and everything, just of them. You know what I mean? And with that being said, he's been working. He's a workhorse, just like Galladay, like we were saying. I feel like this is like the best type of wide receiver group you can have. You look at the Vikings last year and all that they had a real good wide receiver corps. But they had a bunch of people that couldn't play together. Mm-hmm. Stuff get bad, or if you don't have as many touchdowns as you personally want, you get mad and stuff like that. And that's why I like both of them two wide receivers, Kenny Galladay and Jones, because they never showed that they was angry, mad, or anything. Amendola also, they always was happy for their teammates scoring. They was all happy for a win, for anything they can get. You know what I mean? And that's all you can ask for in the wide receivers. Give me everything you got. It might not be your game to this game. You know what I mean? Every receiver not gonna get off, and that's what I like about him, man. He a leader. He a leader, man. He's a leader.
That's a good point to bring up too. I mean, that's kind of why we see Stephon Diggs in Buffalo now, which is a great move for him. But I mean, it's just tough when there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that can valuably touch the ball, and it's gonna be tough for all you guys to get 1,000 yards every year, especially in Minnesota's offense where, you know, they're primarily a run team. They do a lot of zone running with Dalvin Cook, and you see this year Dalvin Cook had a monster crazy year. But to go back to Marvin Jones, I want to give myself credibility. Marvin Jones ran a 4.4 at the combine, so never mind. That is my fault. He is a burner, excuse me. And I saw, and this is a great point that you brought up. I didn't know that about Randy Moss, so that's a great point that you brought up about Randy Moss. So I mean, it clearly shows that he's been working in that he been working on his game. 6'2", 198, 4.4 speed. I mean, it showed up on the field this year. Maybe I'm just stuck in those first couple years that he was in Detroit, and he just underwhelmed like every year. But this year, I definitely saw the growth. And so every segment, I like to talk about the team's O-line. Me and you, we play O-line together, so we gotta give some love to the O-line. Who would you say on the O-line was your best lineman? Now I know who I feel it was, because with Pro Football Focus, we got to do run blocking, we got to chart it, and so I was able to see a lot of blocks that they threw. I did a lot of Lions games, and I remember Glasgow. Is it Glasgow, the center? He throws some nice blocks in the run game, and I think that was their best.
Amazing. And we lost him. That was the worst thing we could do, was not sign him. Yeah. Amazing. Big body, could play center, guard, everything you want in a lineman. I don't care. He was 6'6", you know what I mean? So I even felt comfortable putting him at tackle if you had to, just knowing that you do that because he's 6'6", you know what I mean? He's a real big guy. Mm-hmm. I felt like he could play all 5 positions, you know what I mean? At least just sliding in if you needed the help. Yeah. Amazing, hard, tough worker, hard blocker. He was definitely the best one. By far to me. I like Frank Ragnow too.
Yeah, Ragnow. That's the other guy too. Ragnow, he threw a lot of great blocks too that I remember on film. Talk to me about what you saw from Taylor Decker. I feel like he had an up and down year. I mean, there's definitely a lot of games I felt he could have played a lot better. He had a lot of mental lapses that I saw, and I was just like, bro, we need you to play better. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pull up his grade. I want to see what his grade for the season was. But talk to me about Taylor Decker, what you saw from
him. Taylor Decker, man. Taylor Decker is he's still young. He's not really old. He's getting kind of there, but he's just hitting his prime. Taylor Decker's a big guy. The only thing, he's talented too. I like Taylor Decker. I like him when we drafted him. He is a talented guy. He is a talented tackle. But the facts to it is, I just believe he's just too soft.
Oh, okay.
Taylor Decker is extremely too soft for the highest level of football. Not to be a starter. It's just, you know what I mean? He's talented, but he don't get it done when it comes down to it. You can go over all the X's and O's. None of that matters when you say hike. If
Yeah.
you let men dominate you in front of you. And
Right.
he's just not tough enough, man. He's strong too, and it's a shame he's strong. I've seen him latch on to people and drive them. You know what I mean? So I know he's strong.
Yeah.
He's tired. He's too soft.
I'm looking at his grades this year. His pass blocking grade was a 75.6 and his run blocking grade was a 69.1. So he had a solid year, but I mean, that soft one, I think I probably venture to agree with that too. I mean, he definitely didn't play as well as I would like to see him play, especially when they drafted him in the first round, 16th overall. So when you got a tackle at the top of the draft, you wanted him to be that solid, that cornerstone type tackle. So, but I think overall though, the Lions offense definitely played well. Everybody as a unit, running back, everyone as a unit. The Lions probably would have won more games if their defense would have played a lot better. And then we will segue to the defense. Now, the defense, they are the 31st graded defense, so that's second to last. And when you watch the Lions on tape, it definitely shows. The Lions, first and foremost, where I'll start is that, first of all, their best player was hurt, Darius Slay. He hurt his game. He hurt his hamstring. I think the second game he was trying to pick off a pass. I remember he pulled up and he hurt his hamstring. I remember watching that. So for the better part of the year, he was hurt. So that definitely had a thing playing to it, factor that played into how bad the defense played. Then I remember Michael Irvin got on ESPN and he told his story. I don't know if you remember the story, but he told a story of how Matt Patricia asked him, why is he working out with all the top corners? Because he's not that guy. And he was saying that ever since then, Darius Slay didn't mess with him because he didn't have any faith in him. And he came in, Matt Patricia came in talking to him like that. It's like, you don't even know him. And he's telling an all-pro corner that he's not that good and he shouldn't be working out with the top corners. And it's like, what else should he be doing? Like, should I be working out with people that's not as good as me? And it's just was unfortunate this year that he was hurt for more than half the year. And so on top of not getting along with your coach, you definitely not going to want to play, which is why I'm not surprised they traded him. And then they took Jeffrey Okudah with their third pick. The Lions, they play the most man coverage of any team in the league, and they rush the least amount of people in the league also. So, I thought that was interesting, but talk about it as a whole, what you saw from the defense that contributed to them being 31st.
As a whole, from the defense, what I saw, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not biased. I am not biased. I'm telling you, I paid attention. I'm not biased. That defense was good. That defense was amazing. That defense was stout. Listen, the problem that defense had, I'm gonna tell you, that defense dealt with a lot of injuries early, extremely lot of injuries early. So many injuries early to the same exact position, all going to the D line. All of this hurt our pass rush, and with the amount of man coverage that Matt Patricia like to play, a D line is what you can't be injured. Your D line can't be injured. Sometimes a lot of the time he rushed 3 people and dropped 8 back in the coverage. So your D line has to be strong. You can't be injured, and they have to be good. You know what I mean? And we dealt with a lot of injuries. If you look back to the beginning of the season, 2 notable quarterbacks that I seen that defense play. One of them we start with Phillip Rivers. Yeah. He's pretty good. You know what I mean? Everybody was healthy too. 0 touchdown passes, I believe. If I'm not, you know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken.
Austin Eckler ran one in, but you're right. He didn't throw it. I don't think he threw one.
Yeah. 0 touchdown.
Keenan Allen did kill Darius Slay that game, though. I did.
How? I seen him get a couple yards, but what was his total? His total was 0 touchdown catches. With how many yards?
Give me a second to look it up. But I remember very distinctly. Yards. I'm sitting here like, yo, Darius Slay. That's one of my gripes with Darius Slay. Everyone says he's a great corner and all this and that, and it's like, bruh, I be seeing him get killed. Not a lot, but I see him get killed.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a huge Darius Slay fan. But I also understand Matt Patricia shouldn't have talked to him like that because I feel like it was kind of racist and it was kind of out of the line. But I kind of feel where he was coming from. Matt Patricia
I'm
wanted
glad
to
you
leave.
said that as a fan. I'm glad you said that as a fan.
Darius Slay, he is good right now. He's one of the game's best corners. But if you want to look at elite and you want to talk about elite, you can't say Darius Slay. Elite means that you are there from the beginning. You get what I'm saying? LeBron James, he was elite from the beginning. We knew who he was. His rookie year, first game, everybody knew exactly who that man was. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Peyton Manning, Barry Sanders. You know, the list goes on. The list goes on. You know what I mean? Tom Brady got drafted late, but everybody knew he was good. You know what I mean? He got in, and then from the beginning, he was elite. As soon as he started playing. Yeah. You can't say the same thing about Darius Slay. If you look at Darius Slay, he got about 2 years where he wasn't good the first 2 years. Then the third year, he did a little better. The fourth year, he had an outstanding year. And then so on. You know what I mean? So that's not really elite to me. You know?
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. Like, every time, I mean, since I started working for PFF, they say, oh, he's elite, he's elite, he's elite. And it's just, I kind of reserve myself and I don't talk about it because I haven't watched enough tape of him to say whether he's elite or not. I know he does go up against the best corners though, and they say he is his contemporaries say he's a great corner, but I have not personally seen this, and so that's why I can't speak on it. But going back to Keenan Allen, I got the matchup right here. So while he was guarding Keenan Allen, he was targeted 11 times. Keenan Allen caught 6 passes for 81 yards, 13.5 yards per reception, and you're right, no touchdowns. And he had an interception that game too. So
I'm gonna take
that lock up, but he was catching passes though. There's a lot of routes I saw Darius Slay get beat.
Yeah, definitely. But that's Keenan Allen. You know what I mean? That's also Keenan Allen.
Oh, I agree. You're right. That's a top.
Keep him out the end zone, and I'm good. You can give him 99 yards. I don't want to see 100 yards, and I don't want to see no touchdowns. You give him 98 yards, 99.
I guess I mean? But that's fair. You're right. That is
pretty decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not all. The also, if you look back at the Super Bowl champs, KC, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, they played the Detroit Lions, and Patrick Mahomes threw for 0 touchdown passes.
Is that true?
I mean, that's never a luck. You can't hold Patrick Mahomes to 0 touchdown passes and that be luck. Luck don't come that good.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of times, y'all.
You know, I mean, but that was after the injuries. I'm telling you, Patrick Mahomes 0 touchdown passes. Look it up.
But I was gonna say that in the first segment. I was gonna say that you guys did play Kansas City tough though, and I did see that. I was like, man, they played them tougher than most teams play Kansas City, and it's because that y'all could score with them, and no one expect y'all to score like that. Like they look at y'all offense and they respect Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, but it's like, no, the offense as a total, as a whole, they actually was doing good. You know what I mean? And the Lions 3-12 record is only indicative of how the injury bug hit them. You know what I mean? I mean, the score of that game was 30-34, so it wasn't like the Chiefs blew them out. You know what I mean? So the Lions, the Lions were in a bunch of games and they were great, but that defense, man. So on the back end, and we talked about Slay. I wanted to talk about what you saw from, I don't want to butcher his name, Amani Oruwari. They said that he was, I think y'all drafted him last year in the 5th round from Penn State. And I remember we were listening to one of our podcasts and they were saying that he played a lot better at the end of the season. So I decided to watch some of his tape. And I looked and I was like, man, I'm kind of impressed with this kid because he'll get up in there, he'll tackle. There was one play I saw on the Washington game where he had good hips, but there was a specific route where somebody ran. They ran a double move and he didn't bite, and he actually played great coverage. And he also had a pick that game. So I was like, they may have something on their hands with Amani Oruwari. What do you think? What do you think when you saw him play this year?
Amani, when I seen Amani, I honestly was waiting to see Amani because I liked it. Amani slipped in the draft to us last year. Yeah. He I don't think he should have slipped that far. He's a big kid. What is he, 6'1", 6'2"?
6'2".
Nice, long. and he's physical. He jammed good, just what Matt Patricia want. I was kind of surprised in the draft that they went Okuda. I mean, everybody was saying Okuda, and it just seems well, but I believe in Amari. I seen him play and he dealt with a lot of injuries early.
Yeah.
Him and Austin Bryant, and when he did when he was able to play and he played with the Redskins. He played good. He played good the whole end of the season when he was able to play, and I believe that he is ready to play. That's why I believe that Detroit Lions is good this year. He's ready.
But I
I
mean,
like him.
it's like you said though. It's like when you play as much man coverage as Matt Patricia plays, like obviously you have to have guys that are good in man coverage. And Jeffrey Okudah is the best man corner by and large, hands down, in the draft. So I mean, it was a hand in glove type fit for the Lions. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not a bad pick. I mean, so now you got Amani, and now you got Okudah. I mean, and then
it was a great pick.
Is a solid solid slot corner. So it's mean like in that division where you got Aaron Rodgers, you got the Vikings, and what's the other team I'm forgetting in my mind? And the Bears now. I mean, all these teams that have fast receivers and legit number one options, you need guys to cover these guys. I mean, it just is what it is, especially when you play the Lions play the most man coverage in the league. So them going and snacking and stashing up corners, that's the smartest thing they could possibly do. Yeah. They also did something in the draft that I like, and they got more pass rushing help. So what I saw from the defensive line is, like you said, there was only most of the time rushing 3, but the only player I really saw getting any type of pressure was Trey Flowers, and I hate Trey Flowers. I can't stand him. I don't think he's that good, but he did play pretty well this year. He was their highest graded defender. That one game against Green Bay where they lost on that illegal hands to the face call. What's funny about that is I had to do a project on him for scouting school. And then one thing you'll see on tape is when he pass rushes, he does that move all the time. That is his go-to move. And so it was funny to me that a move that he has been doing literally his whole career got him flagged for the win. But talk to me about who stood out to you on
only in Detroit. Only in Detroit though. Right. Not in New England. Only in Detroit. Right. What was you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I said talk to me about what you saw from the defensive line and who stood out to you.
Yeah, Trey Flowers, he stood out to me at the end of the season. He came on and got his sack total up, and he was playing better. But besides that, him playing at the end, there was really nobody. Everybody got hurt.
Yeah.
We were down. Even the subs were hurt. So nobody on the D line played well, and that's when you see as soon as those injuries started to pile up, you start to see teams putting up a lot of passing touchdowns on us. We're talking average of at least 2 a week almost for about 7 weeks. It was getting crazy, So like really from the D line, Trey Flowers is the only one that I could say that stood up. I really wanted to see Austin play.
Austin?
I really want to see him play. I felt like he was gonna be good, and he was bit with the injury bug too, so we didn't really get to see him too much till later. So hopefully this year we can see him and he can come on, because he was another person that slipped, and we probably shouldn't have got him at that pick if he can get healthy and show us the talent.
Yeah. I want to talk about Jarrett Davis. So that the Lions declined his 5th-year option, so he's gonna be a free agent after the season or in 2020. So what do you think about that move? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the players that I saw from Jarrett Davis, the Lions beat writers, all the Lions media people say that he's underwhelmed, and I'm like, I mean, how much did he actually underwhelm? Like when you watch a lot of Lions games for a team that was depleted by injuries, like he was one of the few people out there that was actually making plays for the team. You know what I mean? And so it's like they expected him to be like Bobby Wagner or Luke Kuechly. Now, if you get drafted that high in the draft, I understand the expectations, but I don't feel like they saying he underwhelmed as badly as they're saying he is. What do you think about Jarrett Davis?
I think just about so he is. In the running game, he's good. You never have to worry about him in the running game. He's just about good. I would love to have him for our running game. I would have kept him just to have him as an early down linebacker. But in the passing game, he's just too much of a liability. He can't check nobody. I could go out there at tight end. He cannot he can't check nobody. So yeah, it's like, and the signing of Jamie Collins and you just drafted Tavai, and I like Tavai too. He's real big. And it's just not much room for him. You know what I mean? They just drafted another kid. They just drafted Aquare.
Yeah.
We had his brother.
Julian Aquara from Notre Dame. Yeah, edge
Yeah,
defender.
he gonna play linebacker too. You know, he's gonna be outside in the 3-4. So they got a lot of linebackers that they got coming up. They just got Ragland also. And someone else. I'm not sure. I forgot the last name. They just got someone else too. So they still got him this year, but they just didn't pick up the extra year. Yeah. I wouldn't have picked up the extra year neither. I would let them show me something. Didn't talk about money then.
Oh, you must be talking about Devin Kennard. They kept him.
No. They let go of Devin Kennard.
Did they?
Yeah, he went to Arizona, I believe.
Yep, you're right. He did go to Arizona. Yeah. But yeah, everybody talks and poo-poos on Jerry Davis, but I don't know. I thought he played as solid can be for a depleted roster. But you segue right into the next segment, which is free agents and draft picks. So I personally thought, like as a whole, I thought that the Lions just needed better players, and that's honestly what I thought, especially on defense. I just thought they just need better players. Like the offense is literally, it's not stacked, but it has enough pieces to where they can contend. I mean, they were 18th ranked out of 32. I mean, that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? That'll get it done in the NFL. And if Stafford didn't go down, there could be a case made that they could have won a lot more games if they win. Like I said, I don't think that 3-12 record is as indicative of how they played. So going back to offseason additions, and because you kind of already touched on it, which offseason addition are you most excited to see play?
It's quite a few. It's quite a few. A lot of people don't like the way that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn is going and signing these Patriot players, but I actually love it. You know what I mean?
Too.
And I'm not a Patriot fan, but if I'm the coach, if I'm the general manager, we're gonna get people that play this system, that plays my system, that already know. And who better than to steal off of that defense? That defense was one of the top defenses in this league this year. One of the top. You got Harmon. He was excellent closer. He got a lot of turnovers from him, and a lot of the times, like you said, Detroit Lions was leading in a lot of those games. Mm-hmm. And so that means that's all they
led in every game.
Yeah, and that's all they was missing was a closer. Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford has been the closer there for years. You see how many fourth quarter comebacks he got. He's been a closer for years, and he got hurt. So we just need a closer, and Harmon definitely fits that description. Nick Williams, he was good, off the bench, giving pressure to the quarterbacks. One I like the best, honestly, would probably be Big V. Yeah. Big V. I really want to see Big V move some bodies, man. That boy is big, man.
Yeah. Vitae he's nice. Yo, if you come from the Eagles, you've been coached well. And and he had to play significant time last year because the Eagles had they had, just like a lot of teams, they had a lot of injuries too. And Vitae had to play significant minutes, and he's only 26 years old, and for the
left and right tackle.
Exactly, and he's got positional versatility, which is huge for a disciple of the Patriot system. They love versatility. You know what I mean? So Vitae is definitely going to play a big role on the offensive line. And like we said before, I mean, the offensive line wasn't bad. You know what I mean? I feel Vitae just makes it a lot better. You know what I mean? And then they got a lot of players in the draft. They drafted guard Jonah Jackson from Ohio State, and then they drafted another guard, Logan Stenberg from Kentucky. Two guys that can give them some more depth on the O-line. So, I mean, they obviously recognize that, we got hit by the injury bug bad, but now we're going to shore up these key positions with young players and solid free agents. And I think they did a slam dunk in the they had a slam dunk in the free agency. They signed Desmond Trufant too. I like that sign. They signed Danny Shelton, nose tackle from the Patriots, who's 26, who's young. I mean, Trufant
extremely big and strong.
Right. I mean, they were missing that. I mean, they weren't missing that. A-Shot Robinson and the Hand, they were okay, but I think
See, but
Dan, like you
Snacks,
said,
what it was Snacks.
yeah,
Snacks
Snap.
couldn't get right. And what I seen it was on Instagram. You know, ever since quarantine started, and you know all the athletes been going live with two people, and Slay and Diggs was talking, and they was talking about Snacks and some of the incidents that they was having with Matt Patricia, all three of them. And they
Yeah,
said that Snacks didn't like him neither, and Snacks had problems with Snacks wanted to just be over the center and
yeah.
just beat up on the center, and he was trying to shut him. So it was problems there too. So I think that with Sheldon being there and knowing what to be expected, I feel like it should be a way better year. You know what I mean? Sheldon is a way better look. You know, he's gonna listen. Snacks ain't listen.
he too good. He too far along to listen right now, man. They ain't
Snacks
listening
ain't
to
listen.
no rookie head coach. Where and
No,
then
Snacks, Slay, all of them. They got him out of there because they ain't listen.
right. They got they signed Chase Daniel too, which and they recognize that how bad they got hit by the injury bug. And Chase Daniel was a very underrated. It's an underrated signing, but if
Hated
Stafford
it.
go down again, he can win you some games.
Hated it. That was the worst signing of the free agency, not for the Lions, for the whole NFL.
Wow, that's
Chase
tough.
Daniels. I mean, because it was just too early. It was too premature. You killed our whole draft with that. They killed our whole draft with that. Now the Dolphins know we signed Chase Daniels. We put him as Matt Stafford's backup. The Dolphins know we don't want Tua. So the Dolphins, everybody refused to trade us. We trying to trade back to just get the same person. We
Yeah.
want to trade back to get Okuda.
Mm-hmm.
And we still was gonna get Okuda, but they knew what we was doing, so we didn't get the extra draft pick just because we already put that extra quarterback on our roster. And he's not that good to just put on your roster. I would have been happier getting AJ Dalton after the draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he better than Mitchell Trubisky. I'll tell you that much. I'd rather have him out there than Mitchell Trubisky. Being 100 with you. I don't like
no, he probably is. No, he's not a bad player. Don't get it wrong. I just don't like the sign a quarterback at that point in time.
I see
You
what
know
you're
what I
saying.
mean?
You could have waited
Wait until after the draft. Keep it a mystery. You know what I mean? Don't play our cards. We could have got an extra draft pick.
Yeah. And then going back over the draft, so I'll just go through it real quick. So they after obviously they signed, they drafted Okuda first, Jeffrey Okuda from Ohio State, DeAndre Swift from Georgia, Julian Okwara from Notre Dame, Jonah Jackson from Ohio State, Logan Stenberg from Kentucky, Quintez Cephas from Wisconsin, Jason Huntley from New Mexico State, John Pensy from Utah, and then Jay Sean Cornell again from Ohio State. So first thing I said, first of all, before I go, you tell me what you think about your draft before I tell you mine.
I actually loved the draft. I loved it. Bob Quinney kind of made up for it because he had me livid. You know what I mean? Actually signing that quarterback and messing up our trades. But besides that bonehead move, it was amazing. You know what I mean? Just picking up DeAndre Swift in the second round. We didn't need a running back, but you're not gonna find that talent again. You know what I mean? To get it in the second round, that's first round talent. He could do anything. So just to give Matt Stafford a weapon like that, you know what I mean? To have as a one or two number two back, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? That was just amazing. Jeffrey Okuda, best cornerback in the draft, best cover corner, big, long, strong hands, jam. Everything the Lions want in the corner, you know what I mean? So to get him and to get a pass rush from Aquare with his brother, you know what I mean? I feel like they're both from Nigeria, and I feel like they were the only two siblings that actually grew up in Nigeria. They got two more siblings that was raised in America, you know what I mean? I feel like they just way more humble and they're gonna work hard and you know what I mean, they're gonna fall into the system. I feel like that was a good pickup, you know. And the guards, I honestly believe both guards will start this year.
Wow. Definitely Jonah Jackson. He's a good pass blocking guard, so I could definitely see him starting.
Yeah, he's an automatic starter, but I honestly think Logan will take a spot. I think Logan is gonna take the other spot.
Yeah.
I do.
Hey, that's like you said, then that's a great draft. Then if you can get two starters out of the draft. Honestly, though, I definitely agree with you. I think you guys had one of the better drafts. Obviously, like you said, obviously Okuda, best cover corner in the draft. They comparing him to Jalen Ramsey. I mean, he had the same splits, everything. His stats are almost identical to Jalen Ramsey when he was coming out in the draft. So, I mean, if you can even get half that production from Jeffrey Okuda, I think that'd be honestly be a steal at 3. And then DeAndre Swift. I was reading an article before on Saturday I was reading an article, and they honestly think that DeAndre Swift is going to start over Kerryon Johnson. And I would say I would agree with them just because I feel DeAndre Swift is way more explosive than Kerryon is. I like the way Kerryon runs. He's a tough, physical runner. But I feel like DeAndre Swift can do it all. Like you said, he can catch, block, run between the tackles, zone schemes, gap blocking scheme, anything you need DeAndre Swift to do, he can do it. And he's come from a great program, a great line of backs playing behind Gurley and Sony Michel, like all these great Georgia running backs. So, it comes from a great lineage and a great school that, has talked him up, who's produced solid, productive running backs in the NFL. And then Jonah Jackson, I mean, he's very underrated guy, very underrated guard who really didn't get a lot of shine during the draft because he's not really a people mover. That's the knock on him. But he pass blocks his behind off. And that's what you need in the NFL. You need to be able to protect your quarterback so he could pass. And like we just discussed before, Stafford had a heck of a season before he got hurt. You know what I mean? And these guys can only help him with that in Stenberg. And then this is my favorite pick of their draft. This is my favorite pick. I like.
Hold on. Let me tell you. You said hold on. Let me tell you who it is before you say it. It's not nobody you said already, is it?
No.
So all right, you gonna say Quintez?
Yeah, Quintez Cephas. I like Quintez Cephas a lot, bro. He I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the? I noticed when I was looking up and down his draft, I'm like, yo, they drafted a lot of players from that Ohio State Wisconsin game. And if you watch that Ohio State Wisconsin bowl game, bro, Quintez Cephas, he snapped the first half of that game. Now the second half is a different story, but the first half of that game, he snapped. And if you watch Quintez Cephas on film, he does nothing but make big catches. He's not fast. He's big, but he's not fast. But he can separate and he can use his big body to make catches. And they have him projected to be a possession receiver. And I feel like that'd be very valuable for Matthew Stafford to have somebody that he can throw to, kind of like what he does with Amendola. So you'll have Amendola, Galladay, Jones, Cephas. I mean, Hawkinson can get it right. I even like Jesse James. I mean, like, he just adds to an already great offense. What have you seen from Quintez Cephas that gets you excited?
Everything, man. He remind me a little bit of just a little bit of Galladay when the ball is in the air. Mm-hmm. He really play the ball. He get his body in between the ball and the defender, and he go up and get it. He has strong hands. I'm not sure. I forgot the guy's name. What is the number two cornerback from Ohio State?
The number 2 cornerback, you said?
Yeah, that played with Okuda.
Damon Arnett. He got drafted by the Raiders.
Raiders first round, right?
Yep, 19th. Yep.
Yeah, 2 first-round picks. Him and Jeff Okuda said that their hardest matchup was hands down Quintez.
Yeah,
hands down. They said that was both, and they both were first-round picks in the NFL draft this year. They said hands down that was their hardest one, and that's probably why they went to that game. That was a real good game.
I noticed that. I'm like, man, they drafted a lot of players from Ohio. They drafted 1, 2, 3 players from Ohio State. So I'm like, yo, they must have loved what they saw. And then they drafted Quintez Cephas. It's like they love these Big Ten players. So yeah. I mean, that's great for them. These guys, we know these guys are battle tested and tough. So if you come from Ohio State, LSU, or what's the other one I like? Ohio State, LSU, or Alabama, I mess with you. I mess with you. That's
automatically. You know, you practice right. You practice right if you play there.
You know what it takes to win. So I definitely.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was another one. I like Jason Huntley too.
Running back, right, from New Mexico State. I didn't really watch him.
He is fast as ever.
Is he?
Extreme burners.
I mean, it just adds more depth, man. It gives him more depth, gives him more options. Because I know McKissick, he walked. He didn't come back. They didn't sign him back, I don't think.
Yeah, that's why I think they got him.
Yeah, so just more depth for the running back position, give him more options. Again, a Patriot way, get as many versatile players as you can possibly get. But I honestly think DeAndre Swift, he gonna end up starting. But the thing is, though, I mean, Kerryon and him can work well together. I mean,
yeah, but you have to, at this point, you have to start him because at first when we got Kerryon, we tried to Kerryon take the load. That didn't work. Kerryon got hurt. Mm-hmm. Then we tried to let's get a bunch of running backs and Kerryon just we use all the running backs with carry on and he just explode when he explodes. And that still didn't work because carry on got hurt.
Yeah.
So now I feel like it's only right for carry on to take the number 2 running back role and hopefully he don't get hurt. You know what I mean? And that could possibly put him on his roster. Because
Yeah.
if not, then he won't be on this roster if he get hurt again. You know what I mean? Then you gotta find a place. And I feel like to stick him in the number 2 running back role, and I feel like that'll help the team, give him a lower pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he would be a good person to have at a number 2 running back.
Absolutely. And then like one thing about running backs is they only have a 3-year shelf life. Like honestly, they really only last for 3 years, and then you start to see the production decline. And then on top of that, running back success is due to your offensive line. It's not really due to them per se. I mean, if you sign a solid running back, like if you sign a Le'Veon Bell as opposed to signing a guy like Amari Cooper, I mean, Le'Veon Bell is going to only make your offense so much better. But if you sign a guy like Amari Cooper, it makes your offense a heck of a lot better. So, I mean, they took DeAndre Swift with the second round, with a second pick, their second round pick. And it's like, that screams to me like running back by committee, because you just took carry on, I think it was like second or third round too, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean.
And then last year you just took Ty Johnson.
Yeah, so now you got 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs on the roster now. And then that's not to, don't they got not
Jason Huntley, they just drafted too. They drafted 2 running backs this draft.
So, I mean, it's just very crowded running back room. But, again, you need to have options at running back because they're the most expendable asset when it comes to football. So, I mean, I love their draft overall. If I had to give them a draft, just with the Okuda pick alone, I'd give them an A. So, and then Cephas too. That is going to be a steal for them, Quintez Cephas, because he's going to make a lot of big plays for Stafford.
A lot. That's what I looked at from the draft. I looked at because they just about hit it for most of the picks early on in picks. You know what I mean? They were just hitting it. So I really just looked later on in the draft, and when I looked later on in the draft, it looked like they was doing the right thing. Huntley, that's his running back in the draft. He's a good receiver, good on special teams. Probably gonna replace Agnew because he couldn't hold on.
Yeah, that's who it was. Agnew. That's the guy. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and so
Agnew got into it with Matt Patricia at the beginning of the year too.
I didn't know that. He did.
Yeah, he got benched too because I think he fumbled, and Matt Patricia took him out. And then, but then he came back. He came back the next game and ran. I think that was the game he ran the touchdown back. So I was like, listen, man, Matt Patricia is trying to coach the softness out of the Lions. The Lions been losers for the better part.
That's why I respect it. That's why I respect it because that's all he was doing. He really wasn't trying to take it there with Darius Slay. You know what I mean? Like for example, you know me. You play football with me. You know what I mean? If somebody disrespect me like that, it's like when I'm in my football mode, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm still working. It's not gonna. You know what I mean? I'm not really paying you much attention. And that's what he wanted, somebody that was just focused on the game.
Yeah.
And I feel like they was trying, him and the general manager, Bob Clem, was trying to weed out the bad seeds. So I feel like they was going out picking and poking at people and seeing who took the bait. Whoever took the bait was out of there.
Exactly. And then you have to do something drastic to change the culture. I mean, he inherited this roster. This wasn't when he first got it, it wasn't his roster, obviously. So like you said, you got to weed out the people that actually is about team. I mean, he comes from a winning tradition. He comes from a winning program in the Patriots. So you have to do something to weed these guys out. It sucks that it had to be their best defensive player. Slay had to be traded, but it is what it is, man. I mean,
it actually didn't, man. It was actually cost friendly to pick up Desmond Trufant, who's the same age as him, who's cheaper, and then to be able to have Amani, to be able to have Amani, Justin Coleman, and to pick up Jeff Okuda. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. I like that room. I like that cornerback room.
Yeah, that's better. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't beat that right there. That's a way cornerback room. I feel like the only thing the Lions need to do now is just one more edge rusher, man. And he's out there waiting. Jadeveon Clowney.
I think the resources has dried up for him. His asking price was way too high at the beginning of free agency, and he done capped himself out. That was his only problem. He capped his own self out. He thought he was worth 20 mil. He not worth 20 mil. He not Vaughn. He not Aaron Donald. He ain't none of these top edge rushers. He's good, but he's not great. And that's where he failed to see himself. Like he's not a great edge rusher. He's really good.
I feel like what ruined him was like the whole college experience.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why I like the XFL. I really like the XFL because some kids, if you feel like you're that talented, you want to get paid, you can go straight there out of high school and play and then go to the NFL. And I feel like something like that would have did him better because going to college when he got there as a freshman, he was just too big, too strong, too fast for these kids.
Yeah.
So he's not able for the next 3 years. He's not able to learn anything.
Yeah.
Because physically, you know what I mean. He's just the best. He's just too dominant to even.
He don't have to learn the technicalities of the game. You're right.
Yeah, he don't even got his college career. He never had a challenge. He just dominated. You know what I mean. And now he's with grown men, and his story is different.
And that one play against Michigan where I think it was against Michigan where he smacked whoever that was and then got that fumble with one hand. I mean, that propelled him to be the number one pick that year. And then, like I said, he's not a bad pass rusher. He's a good edge defender, not a great one. He's not Von Miller. He's not Khalil Mack. He's not any of those guys. But he's good. He's really good. He's not J.J. Watt. I mean, he's not that guy.
He's somebody that you slide in with Trey Flowers for a good price. Better than what is he asking for now? 17, right?
17, yep.
Better than that 17. Let's try to get him.
But the thing is now they don't need him. They got both Okunwawa brothers. They got Trey Flowers, who was their best pass rusher last year. So now, I mean, that's depth to me. You got a young guy. You got two guys there.
Yeah.
Three guys,
but now,
three-guy rotation.
See, me, I would actually get at least somebody else that I know could every down give it to me because Julian, he's a pass rusher. Mm. He if he's in there on first down, then somebody got a mismatch. They need to be running the ball. If he's in there, he shouldn't be in there on first down. He's a pass rusher. You know what I mean? And I feel like we should get a DN just because there's so many out there. We should get a DN that could really help every down, as in picking up a Jadeveon Clowney. You know what I mean? Just because it's like win or go home. Mm-hmm. You know, head coach, general manager, Matt Stafford, all of their contracts are done this year. This is their last year. You know what I mean? So it's win or go home. So it's either pick up one of them or what's it, Griffin from Vikings? I'll pick him up too. Just to be an every down DN, just to have, just in case that injury bug come back or anything. Yeah. Got a couple of dollars to spend. You know, you might as well spend it. This could be your last year. You got to spend all that money. Don't save nothing.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that's, you know, trying to go all in. So with that being said, what is your season projection for your team? So you got Lions in your division. You got the Vikings in your division. You got the Packers in your division. You got the Bears in your division. And I feel like all those teams, I mean, as long as you got Rodgers, Packers are always going to be stout. You got the Bears with a better quarterback play. Just with better quarterback play alone, the Bears will be a solid team. And then you got the Vikings, man. I mean, they lost Stephon Diggs, but I feel like they're still going to be solid. So your division, just like it is most years, is going to be competitive. So where do you see, unbiasedly, where do you see your team falling this year?
Honestly, I feel like this could be a big year for Detroit. I feel like this is going to be a big year. I feel like Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia put all of their eggs into this year. A lot of people before this year was saying, oh, they're going to get fired. They talked to the Ford family. They knew no matter what that they still had this last year going on. They knew they was going to fill out their contract. So I feel like this will be a big year. I feel like we still got at least 1 to 2 more free agent signings. I wasn't sure if we was going to get Okuda. I thought that we would get Logan from Tennessee, you know, but I feel like we still got 1 to 2 more signings in them. I feel like they're putting everything in this bunch. And unbiasedly, I do feel like this team is going to go far. Like we said before, that defense, like they played against top quarterbacks and played great before the injury. You know what I mean? Played amazing. I couldn't even tell you the last team before it in the whole Patrick Mahomes touchdown. But I feel like definitely playoffs, you know. Unbiased, I feel like they win playoff games. I feel like they get at least 1 to 2 playoff games. And that could be it. That's unbiased. That could be it.
That's good as unbiased. I mean, to your point about going all in, I mean, if you look at all their free agent signings, all the money that they threw at the free agency this year, it definitely screams we're going all in. And they brought all these players over from the Patriots that know the system. So they definitely trying to get it. And then on top of that, if you watch all their games against division opponents, they were in every single one of them. It wasn't like they got blown out by anybody. The first 10 weeks, if you look at those games, they didn't get blown out by anything. They just barely lost to the Packers. They played the Vikings tough. And then the Bears, the one time they played the Bears, they played Stafford didn't play, so I don't really count that. I can't count that if your quarterback wasn't there. But they pretty much everybody they played, they was in the games and they was in it. And so I can see them honestly, I can see them being better than the Vikings. And I don't see them being better than the Packers. I don't care what they did with drafting a quarterback. I don't see them being better. As long as Aaron Rodgers is there, as long as they still got that defense, that running game, I don't see them being better than the Packers. But they could very realistically contend for that second spot. And then now the playoff format is expanded to 7 teams now. So there is no inconceivable reason why they couldn't get another wild card spot and sneak in as a 7 seed or be a wild card team. If Stafford plays the way he played before he got hurt. I mean, Stafford has shown, even throughout his whole career, he's able to be a top 10 to 15 quarterback in this league. And that's really in the NFL, that's what a contingent is contingent on. If you can be efficient in the passing game and cover well, you will be a great team. And I feel like the Lions have addressed both of those things. And so I see a second in the division, good enough for a wild card. I mean, do I see you guys beating one of these top teams in the NFC? I don't know. I don't know about that.
The NFC is extremely tough. That's why I think that Tom Brady is smart, but he is extremely crazy because he left from the AFC to come to the NFC, and NFC is, I believe, way better than the AFC.
No question. There's no question.
But also, I believe that I'm not gonna lie. You gave me hope. I'm going on a limb now because I know you and I know the hard work that you put in and the dedication. Listen, I know you. So what I'm saying is, since you just said that, I'm going with at least division champs. If you believe that we can get Minnesota, I know that we got Green Bay.
I think you guys can get Minnesota. They got
the Detroit Lions have owned Green Bay for the past few years. We've been killing them. That last game, our record is usually just not good enough to beat them. We usually beat them, but they win more games. Our record is not, but good enough to contend.
Yeah.
I feel like this year, if you feel like we gonna get the Vikings, I believe Green Bay has already got it.
On paper, because if I didn't watch any film and I didn't watch Stafford, I wouldn't have said that. But I watched him and I watched how he was looking, how sharp he was the first couple games of the season. I watched how in sync he was with Galladay, how in sync he was with Marvin Jones. You know, how they ran the ball when Kerryon was healthy. And then now you only add DeAndre Swift. And then how better the defense will projectedly be with Jeffrey Okudah. We're hoping that he'll be the guy that they drafted him to be. But they just made – I mean, and then all this money they threw in the free agency of guys, not just regular guys, but guys who know the system. Guys who know the Patriot way. I mean, that's essentially what matters. These are the Patriots disciples. Guys who know that system and who can operate in that system and operate in that culture, who are going to come to work. Like you said, come to work every day and work hard. I just think that the Vikings window is coming and going. I mean, they got rid of Xavier Rose and they added Cameron Dantzler in the draft, and they added another corner. I can't remember. I think it's Darnay Holmes, but they added another corner. So they got 2 young corners, and you're gonna have to contend with Jones and Galladay twice a year. It's just I don't see them beating the Lions. And then now DeAndre Swift, who can be another weapon for you. I just think the Lions have too many weapons. They're gonna be well coached. I just think they come out second, but I don't see them beating the Packers, though. That's my prediction. I say they get at least 9 wins.
Don't get me wrong. If the Lions make it out of the Packers, don't get me wrong. They just played their best 2 games against the Packers to beat them on both. They going that's how I feel. They gotta play their best game. You know what I mean? But with the Packers, I'm kind of confused with the Packers, and I don't know which way it's gonna go with Aaron Rodgers and then just drafting Jordan Love. And, sometimes, you never know. Players get to acting like divas and two quarterbacks on the roster. It could be amazing. Jordan Love could learn more than he ever learned in his life and be an amazing quarterback in the future. You never know. But, it could push them farther away from Aaron Rodgers because I heard there's problems over there in Paradise. So, you never know. But Green Bay definitely 1-2. I definitely believe Green Bay is going to be their competition
Yeah.
and be up there because that's just too much. The Smiths on defense for Green Bay, they get a lot of pressure to the quarterback. Amazing.
It's most certainly gonna be an interesting division race because even I don't even count the Bears out, but I mean I want to see how the Bears look with Foles at quarterback because Foles has shown that he can't do this for a full season. He is a guy who can come in, spot start. He can give you 5 to 7 games of high end play, and that is as many games as he gave them when they won a Super Bowl. When the Eagles won a Super Bowl, he gave them 5 to 7 games of high end play, and they won a Super Bowl. He has never been able to do it for now 17 games. He's never been able to do it over a full season, even when he was our starter. I mean, with Jacksonville, he got hurt the first game of the season. I mean, he just never shown the propensity to give us a full season. So I don't know what is leading me to believe he can do it now. The Bears are immensely talented on both sides of the ball, but again, in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback that can play top 15 level, it don't matter what you got.
Yeah, and I honestly believe what you're saying, and that's what scares me. Honestly, that's what scares me with the Bears, because that's all he got for them, but that's maybe all they need because Maserati Mitch could pull off a good 6 games.
Maserati Mitch.
Maserati Mitch could pull off a good 6 games in the season, and it could be smooth sailing. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people don't know the same way that the Lions just drafted another Quar brother. The Bears just drafted Khalil Mack's brother. No, they didn't draft him. I'm
They
sorry, they
signed him
signed him.
UDFA. They
Yeah,
signed him as a UDFA.
yeah, they signed him after the draft. They signed him. Stuff like that. Those type of situations, I feel like they always work better because they make. I think of what would it be like with playing with my brother and when I played with my brother. You know what I mean? Just seeing brothers play together. That
Right.
type of thing make you play harder and give you that intensity. It give you everything you need. You know what I mean? Just being able to play with a brother, a family member that you really grew up with. That's really there, your blood. You know what I mean? So I feel like that. You never know. That Matt could turn out. Playing with his brother, man, and working.
I didn't even honestly. I didn't even know he had a brother that played. But I mean, if he gonna be anything like his brother, he played linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he
I
can
think
be,
he gonna be more. He gonna be like an edge rusher, just like him. I believe.
just like him. Maybe he
Yeah,
can get anything. If he get anything like his brother, man. The Bears defense. Every year is always gonna be solid. I mean, no matter what, they always draft well. They always play well. They always discipline on defense. They're always gonna be good. But the
Yeah,
thing with
he's not
them,
gonna be him. He's not gonna be him immediately though. I think that if Khalil Mack plan on staying there long, then you know what I mean. He could come on and be a problem in a couple years for them. I don't feel like he'll do much for him this year.
your division definitely gonna be interesting. I'm definitely gonna monitor it closely.
Yeah.
So as we close, give me your prediction over or under 9 wins for the Lions.
Over 9 wins.
Over Absolutely. 9 wins. All right.
Absolutely over 9 wins.
Over 9. You smelling 10 wins, huh?
Absolutely. No, I was going for 11. I'm not sure.
11,
I'm not sure how the Packers. I'm not sure how the Packers are gonna play. The Packers, I feel like it is scary. The Packers could be real good this year. You know what I mean? So that if we do get a 10-11 game year, you know what I mean? I feel like it could be outshined. It could be a number 2 spot. You know what I mean? With 10 or 11 wins. Well, not with 11. If we get 11, I feel like we should have it. But if we get 10 wins, I feel like it could be a number 2 spot. Easily took Green Bay. So that's going to be a tough matchup to keep an eye on. We usually play them last. That might be the game of the week.
Wow, that's definitely a bold prediction, but that's what I'm about, man. My guests coming on here giving me bold predictions. I like that. And what's funny about like when I'm watching the Lions, bro, is so at the beginning of the season, I had like 6 fantasy drafts, right? So one of the fantasy drafts, I was like, we come to the end of the draft, and one of my boys, he's like, oh, I guess I better draft the quarterback now, right? So he drafts Stafford. And I'm like, why you draft Stafford? He's so garbage. He ain't played well. Right? Come out, bro. Stafford done shot through the most touchdown passes in like the first 4 or 5 weeks. And I was like, oh, guess I got to shut up now. And I was so taken back because I was talking so much crap about Stafford. And then he came out and literally, like I said, up until week 10, he was having one of his best seasons ever. So Lions definitely are going to be on the Ham and Turkeys radar, watching and seeing what they do this year. And I want to, close this segment out. I want to thank my teammate, my former teammate, my brother, my Wilson Wildcat brother, for coming on and talking some Lions football with me. And these invitations are for everyone. I mean, I feel my whole thing is that fans know the game too, and fans should have a voice to say what they want. So if you are proficient at discussing football or basketball, music, whatever it is, you can hit me on any of my social media. I'm going to leave my social media contacts at the end of this video. Hit me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I have everything. I want the fans' voice to be heard. I want us to have a say-so in things in that nature. And this won't be our last podcast, but I do appreciate you coming on. And again, I appreciate all my viewers for watching the Ham and Turkey on YouTube, and I hope you guys tune in again when we have another football edition podcast.